huh? I had no idea. Even if it's just some crappy Java game. Hey, what's going on, you guys? So this is going to be a funny fucking video, for me at least. You might have seen my Fweetad Exposed video I just dropped like a month ago, and I don't know what I was expecting, but what I wanted to do was talk to you about one of the characters in that video, Owl Shimy. This is going to be really good. If you want to learn a little bit more about Owl Shimy, this is going to be fucking hilarious and eye-opening. So Owl Shimy sends me a message out of the blue on 9/23/25. He opens with this bizarre message saying, "Sir, listen, it's been decades, but I have followed your orders. The army is almost complete." And I just said, "Who is this?" And he goes, "The builder. I built the army for you. You ordered 1 million Bomby Boppets. They're done." I already know. Anybody who ever makes jokes like that, they're a fucking piece of shit. So anyways, he said, "I haven't had anything to do with Graal in forever." Not really sure what a lot of this is, but I was barely older than you back then. And I guess technically I'm still exactly the same, barely older than you. And I was also raped by the Westerville, Ohio police my senior year of high school in the bathroom after being illegally forcibly after being illegally forcibly searched in violation of the law every single day until I finally quit going because I couldn't take it anymore. And things haven't really been much better over the years in terms of being violated by other people and having actual legal rights violated. And having actual legal rights violated. And he says, "So I get it, and I'm still dealing with all of that now as well. I'm going to just keep watching through and see what you have to say. Just letting you know, I hear ya if things haven't been well." You guys, this guy's already watched my video. I don't know why he's pretending like he's watching it with me. And so I said the only natural thing you could say to somebody like this. And I said, if there's any validity to these outrageous claims, provide me proof and names of the police involved. So Precarious says, "I'm up to 1530 right now." And he goes, "I just heard you mention the admins of today. Really, I had no idea the game was even still around, although I suspected it might be, since the population of the internet has grown and there are so many shitty games out there. It's almost inevitable you'll have an audience if you have a consistent functional product, even if it's some old crappy Java game from the forgotten times. I seriously hate Stefan Portha. I don't know if he's still involved. Don't know if you were ever aware that he stole Graal.net, the domain itself that I registered, from me." And then he goes on to say that he had no idea Graal was even still around, which I find really fucking hilarious because looking back at our chart here, Owl Shimy was fully active since 2001 through 2004 on the Graal IRC channel on Spider's Page of Stuff. Owl Shimy is the top poster in 2004, and here we are with Owl Shimy. This goes to 2006. Owl Shimy is still the top member of the Graal IRC channel. Flash forward, we've got February of 2020. Owl Shimy was still active in the Graal IRC channel on Spider's Page of Stuff, a website dedicated to cyberstalking and harassing children and exploits against children, most notably myself. Not a website exposing Stefan and UnixMad or Pachuca for raping kids, but a website built by child predators themselves that they paid for 25 years to remain up, broadcasting the abuse toward the kids that they engaged in, keeping it unchanged for 25 years, and hanging out in the back end behind the shrine of child abuse, having conversations in the Graal IRC on the same website, up to February 2020. When he says he didn't know Graal was still around, he's fucking lying. And let's look further, shall we? November of 2022, Owl Shimy is still in here. Here's Owl. He was active 174 days ago. Super Nick was active. Look at that. Look at all of these Graal people active in this fucking server, exalted in a shrine to abusing and stealing my fucking files and reputation. Not one post on Spider's Page of Stuff exposing Stefan and UnixMad, exposing Pachuca for raping children or even discussing it. Not one post exposing child abuse and defending children. Not a single post. But then they're coming into my DMs saying that Stefan and Unixmad are predators. Not a single post on their website about it. But their website they paid hosting for to keep up for 25 years to make me look like a worthless kid you're allowed to abuse and rob. Look at all these Graal people, guys. Check it the fuck out. All of them are Graal people. Galen made a fucking appearance. Look at that. Galen is hanging out with these fucking people. So don't tell me this shit is in the past. These people are upholding the child predation network and fortifying it for Stefan and Unixmad today. They've had all of the resources, all of the people, all of the reasons in the world to go public and defend kids, including me. Instead, they kept Spider's page of stuff up for 25 years, trying to make the child who got robbed look like a worthless faggot you're allowed to do whatever you fucking want to. As they all sat around and hung out talking shit in a Graal IRC channel into their fucking 40s, some of them 50 years old now. These people are creating the child predation network. I told you they created it in the beginning. None of them are going public. But suddenly when a video drops about them, I'm getting cease and desist orders. I'm getting private messages from people. Oh my God, I had no idea Graal was around. Huh? I figured I'd reach out to you though, see if you needed me to answer anything. I had no idea. You guys, Graal is a child predation network. These people are fucking keeping the narrative alive for Stefan and Unixmad. And paying to keep Spider's page of stuff up, grooming children to think it's okay to hack, cyberstalk children, and to protect child predators. Not a single post on there about Pachuca being a molester. But then Owl Shimy's coming into my DMs telling me that he doesn't really like Pachuca. He just thought he was edgy, and he didn't really have much to do with him, and he thinks it's disgusting what Pachuca did. But yet he's the top poster on the Graal IRC channel. And so you might think, well, why would they be doing that? Well, you know, Chris Soanes, who's Galen, is still benefiting from the child predation. He still has on his resume that he was the game master of Graal. You guys, I was around back then. Everything Galen says is a lie. Galen never made anything. And I'll show you in a minute how Galen admitted he hadn't programmed in 3 years. So here's Galen's profile from GraalOnline.com back in 2000, where he says that he had been programming for 9 years. And then he stopped. He stopped programming and hadn't touched it in 3 years. So can somebody please explain to me how Chris Soanes was the game master of Graal Online when he says he hadn't coded in 3 fucking years? So how does somebody who doesn't program, he doesn't make graphics, he doesn't make levels, we can't find anything in Graal that Galen had made. He didn't code the engine. He didn't code the server. He didn't make Graal 2001, which is the first pay server. He didn't make any of the icons. He didn't make any of the tile set. So why is Galen still calling himself the game master of a game that was made by children? And then hanging out with these guys here. Galen, 2025. Just 2 years earlier, he was active. Can you explain to me why I have Somnus coming into my fucking server here, who is a featured member of Spider's Page of Stuff? Spider's Page of Stuff that has been up for 25 years, and the entire website is harassing Antago over and over and over again. Oh, look, we hacked Antago's FTP and destroyed it so he couldn't keep making things. Oh, look, Antago got hacked again, and we got Graal 3D from him, and we destroyed his websites. Oh, look, they stole New Main from me after they released my porn history and destroyed my mother's computer and then released all my fucking files. And then here they are harassing me into 2008, posting naked photos of me for children to look at. These people are in their 50s now and 40s. They're all in that IRC fucking channel in the back end of this website still, keeping this harassment up of a child. Not a word about Unixmad. But then they're coming into my fucking Discord server saying, oh God, you know, Unixmad stole from me too. Do you see how they're trying to fabricate a narrative? You didn't get robbed, we did. And these people didn't do shit, by the way. Nobody even knows who this dude is. And even if they did get a tiny piece stolen, that's not the same thing as having entire games stolen that jump-started the company. Even still, he's saying that Unixmad's a thief and that Stefan and Unixmad are fucking predators and thieves. See this? You're talking about Stefan and Unixmad now, and they were adults, and they did take advantage of people. Okay. Weird. So, I'm a victim, you're claiming you're a victim, but then you're featured on a website that harasses me. When I was a child that you engaged in for 25 years, you paid to keep this website up. It's from 1999, and you're hanging out in the back-end IRC channel, behind it. Not a word about Stefan and Unixmad, but then you're coming into my server telling me to shut the fuck up. It was Stefan and Unixmad, but then you're broadcasting a different fucking story. Not a word defending children. Not a word warning children. Not a word warning about Pachuca raping kids. You guys are child predators. Why? But then you're hanging out with Gallon, who was in the IRC channel with Pachuca, while he was sending pornography to kids, threatening to rape us. You know, some of you might ask me, well, why are you mocking his so-called trauma? And, well, like I said, he preyed on me when I was a child. He has been benefiting and supporting the networks who preyed on me as a child. For 25 years, he has never spoken up about it, never apologized. He continued when he was an adult and I was a child. He broadcasted all kinds of psycho fucking things about me, threatened me, said all kinds of sexual stuff to me. He was of the legal age of consent in Ohio. I was not. In Ohio, as you've seen in my last video, the age of consent is 16 and 17. Owl Shimy was 16 when I was 13. I was 14 when he was 17. And he was a very perverse individual. So let's take a look back at some of his claims about not having anything to do with Pachuca. He didn't like Pachuca. If we go to 9/7 on his old website, this is his old Angel Fire website, it's literally still up. You can see on 9/7 at 11 a.m. it says, "Oh looky, I updated. I'm your dada, motherfucksor." The same tagline that Pachuca threw up on my website when he hacked me. Pachuca is your daddy, with the J, the 2 zeros, and the R. Owl Shimy and Pachuca the pedophile were best buddies. And do you know how I know that they were friends? Pachuca told me he doesn't remember anybody except for Lycia, Owl Shimy. He remembers me, but why does he remember me? Because I was the one he abused. And he remembers Owl Shimy because those were the two who were doing the abuse. And let's look a little bit further, shall we? Look how insanely sexualized his content is. And he kept this stuff up well into adulthood, including posting stuff about children. So, according to Ohio, there's something called the continued offense doctrine, which means that if you're continually publicizing abuse toward children as you're still an adult, and it took place when that person was a child, it's part of the continued offense doctrine. He kept this stuff up to continue fucking destroying the people he was attacking. But anyway, his older website was really, really perverted and disgusting. And then he had this kind of newer one, which is all about sex as well. Nothing but just nonsensical ebonics, weird, offensive stuff, talking about genitals, talking about gross stuff, talking about pizzas, which in a sexualized way. He has images that are sexualized in his image dumps. If you look at those, they're disgusting. Calling everybody slutzors and talking about drugs, sex, slutzors and dope fiends, someone's dick raping a goat until it dies. And by the way, Pachuca was sending out bestiality images to me when I was a child. He was 19. I was 12. Owl Shimy takes after this kid. Owl Shimy was of the age of consent. I was not. Owl Shimy is a complete pervert. We're going to go further into this in a second. Saying all kinds of weird shit, like about choking chickens, which is a euphemism for masturbation, fetus. Like, what is all this? What is this schizo nonsense? It's perverse and disgusting. Do you see this? It just doesn't make any sense. And then he's talking about skinheads getting tasered by security guards, which is a little bit weird because if he was 17 when he was getting raped, he was 17 when he posted this. Why does he have an affinity for security guards if he hated them And also, how does a security guard start raping a 17-year-old? I don't understand. If you're looking at this guy's post, at no point whatsoever does Owl Shimy appear to be the type of person you could just tackle and rape repeatedly every day because you are a security guard. And by the way, security guards aren't really truly like policemen, so I don't know what he was talking about by saying he was afraid of the security guard. And the other thing too is maybe Owl Shimy was consenting to it. Was there a relationship? You know that 17 is the age of consent in Ohio. If you were having sex with a security guard, Owl, that's not necessarily being raped. I'm sorry that you now want to retroactively say that you were being raped because you're being exposed and people can see what a fucking weirdo you've been to children, but you weren't necessarily raped if you chose to have sex with a security guard. Where's the evidence? Funny how it suddenly comes out magically when I'm exposing you for being a pervert to kids. And it's not that you were being molested as a child, it's, oh, you were 17 and being tackled by security guards in school and physically assaulted every day, somehow. And if you guys want to see what his evidence was, check this out. Let me try to find it for you. I blocked him, so let's see if we can see his stuff. So he's giving me like messages on his Angel Fire website that don't say anything about being raped. So here he is on his Angel Fire site talking, I can't find anything in here about being raped. And he's claiming that he hinted at it and this is proof. You guys. And then he said, okay, well, if that's not proof enough for you, try this one. And so he showed me this other one. And so here he's like, hi, my name's Chris. I'm 17 and a senior in high school. What good stuff's going on in my life? Nothing. Today was probably the worst day I've had in a while. Most days are like today, though. What does this have to do with being fucking raped by security guards? I've read this entire fucking message. There's nothing in here about being raped. But because he started out with saying that he hated the day and he was unhappy, therefore this is proof he was being raped by the police chief. You guys, what is happening here? Let me see if I can find. I just can't find anything, dude. So I said you could turn to Dads Against Predators and maybe they can help expose him if it's the police chief because they have a vendetta against the Ohio police. The Dads Against Predators is the group from Ohio who beats up predators. Everybody knows them. They're the biggest child predator hunting vigilantes in America. And I said, you could probably reach out to them and expose them. So I sent him later an image of one of the guys they beat up with a pumpkin and they bashed him over the head. The pumpkin didn't smash. Instead, the guy got knocked out and he got fired. He was a CEO. And Owl Shimy, this isn't the first time he said it either. He's like talking about how he just wasn't happy about it. Do you see how he's basically suggesting that the guy didn't deserve it and that we live in a very interesting, weird segment of human civilization to study, that people can just get away with this. And he suggests that if it was random people getting beat up on the internet, probably wouldn't last anywhere near as long. What a wonderful world, he says, sarcastically. So Owl Shimy's upset that child molesters are getting beat up and fired. What the fuck is happening, dude? So put two and two together, and this wasn't the only time. There was other ones. I was talking about it, and he wasn't happy with the idea of pedophiles getting in trouble. And the proof, so-called proof, he sent me like Reddit posts at one point. I don't even know where it is. Let me search for it. It's somewhere in here. He sent me like this Reddit post that also said nothing. It literally said nothing whatsoever about being molested. And he said it was proof, hinting at it. You guys, I don't believe this shit. This is defamation. This guy just defames people and throws people in power under the bus every time he feels like he got caught or busted for something. Same thing that happened when he made a false emergency report to the police department, the Henrico department. He's calling them up. He's complaining to them. And I'm telling you he's complaining to them because it wasn't just the Facebook. I found a PDF of them talking about him. I'm not going to dox him. So I'm not going to show you the Facebook post. I'm not going to show you the PDF document. But he was also contacting the police department outside of Facebook. He's blasting them on Facebook, talking about, how dare you yell at me? How dare you try to violate me and tell me that I made a false emergency report? This, and that. My rights are being violated. You're not allowed to block me on Facebook. This guy is fucking mental. He's lost it. They hate authority. These are child predators. They fucking hate authority. They feel entitled to do whatever they want. So look at all this like sex, dude. Just talking about sex and slutors, jerking it off, fetuses, raped, animal sex, fucking animals. Weirdness, right? Referring to everybody as kids and children. It's so fucking was just so bizarre. And then if you look at my old conversations with him, he's exposing my emails, which, by the way, these were from September of 2000. He had been doing this when I was 13 and he was 16. So I'm a little fucking boy. He's a fucking 16-year-old who's literally of the age of consent in Ohio for sex. And you can see in here that I'm telling him, I don't care about your opinion. All you talk about is cyber sex and moo-moo cows. And by the way, moo moo cows was another Pachuca meme. And this is all Owl Shimy ever talked about. I said he's fucking mentally ill, you're a fool, and he's posting my emails. Do you notice how he's not posting his responses? He's posting my emails and encouraging the public to attack a 13-year-old. And then I turned 14, and then he continued to keep it up and told them to attack a 14-year-old. Now he's releasing my emails without his responses. And you can see in here what was actually happening, because he's not publicizing it. But you can read what I'm saying is happening. I said, all you talk about is cyber sex, and all you say to me is shit like sex me up or sexor. I said, you talk about sex, you know what it was meant for. I said, quit emailing me. And then I just made up a fucking word just to try to fucking like make him laugh. And that wasn't enough. He kept harassing me. Again, I was 13 when he started. He was 16. I said, one day I shall take over the world with an army of kitties. You can see I'm trying to make him laugh and see that I'm just an innocent child. And it's not enough. He's still saying sexual shit to me. And all kinds of stuff. And I'm talking about, well, what about your top 50 fucking site? I said, you're posting images, you're posting my conversations, you're talking about me being fucking gay, you're sending me sexualized messages. Look, all these pages are him, like, of him posting stuff about me. Here we have him randomly contacting me one day and says, hello, little boy, would you like to play with Johnny's sock puppet? I said, nah. He said, why? And I blocked him fucking immediately. So this had been going on. He didn't publicize everything. So when I'm talking about how he's posting all kinds of sexualized shit for children, and I'm saying, quit saying, can we have sex? And quit cybersexing people and saying, sex me up, and posting images of you raping their Graal corpse, and saying, Owl Shimy is your daddy, just like Pachuca did when Pachuca sexually abused me. He's mocking me. And he posted this, and then who joined in? Who joined into that? None other than Spider's Page of Stuff, right? None other than Spider's Page of Stuff. And all these hackers who hacked me 100 times, and all the news in here about me, where they're posting my nude photo for children to look at when I was in college, when they're hacking Graal 2001 and destroying my computer and lying about it, and then posting my porn history on Nixed.org, which I've shown you before. I'll show it again. Let's just look it up. Nixed.org. They hacked my computer. Note the Netscape cache with gay porn. And this was from the end of the year 2000. This is where Spider got the new main client, because I made Graal 2001. Where do you think they got the Graal 2001 pay-to-play client? You think Stefan sent it to him? They hacked my computer and took it. It's on Nix.org. So people are like, who made Graal new main? It's literally next to Antago's hard drive backup and his gay porn when they sexually abused me and stole Graal 2001 from me, which is the first pay server. People are like, how do we know you made Graal 2001? Why was the Graal new main client such a hot commodity, previously unreleased online game? And everybody knows Graal new main is Graal 2001, which is Graal Bomby Moon, the first pay game. Why did I have that? Why did I have that? Why was it on my hard drive? If I didn't make the Graal lot, if I didn't make Graal 2001, if I had nothing to do with the NPC server, if I had nothing to do with that game, and I just made some shelled creatures, why did I have the fucking impossible to get Graal client for developing Graal 2001 that nobody ever had? I was the first and only person who ever had it because I made the first pay server. How did they get it? But then I'm in here with Somnus, who is a member of the Spiders page of stuff, and I said I was robbed, I fled for my life, I built Graal 2001, massive chunks of Graal Classic and the tile set, including the Graal lots and the main game icon, and designed the NPC server concepts. He says, yeah, Stefan and Unixmad did rob us, and they were adults, you're right. But I don't remember your contributions being that deep. Really? Really? Because when you hacked me, you got the fucking Graal 2001 client that nobody but me had, and released it with my fucking porn history when I was 14 years old. It's funny how everybody forgets, but don't believe that they're preying on you guys. Don't believe that they're lying and weaving a narrative for Stefan and Unixmad to rob kids. But yet when they hacked my computer, that's when Graal New Main got leaked. Oh look, they got the New Main client, but he doesn't put my name in there. Notice how they erased my name from it. But lucky for me, unlike you, when you're telling me that you don't remember anything, check this out. I'm not going to pretend I remember everything from 25 years ago about a game I played for like 3 years. So I'm also not going to think that a 13-year-old also remembers every fucking detail about it either. Really? Really, faggots? Really, faggot, Somnus? You don't fucking remember that? You have a headline link. You have a headline link on Spider's fucking page of stuff. Somnus, Spider's page of stuff. Spider's page of stuff was hacking me and leaking it. You had all my files. You knew all about it. I think it's fucking amazing how you retroactively change history and then subversively gaslight me and lie to the public and say, I don't remember him having anything to do with it. Well, lucky for me, I do have a memory, so I still have access to all of archive.org. So everybody knows you're a faggot little fucking child predator liar now, you piece of shit. Don't come back and Graal. You remember exactly how you got the fucking Graal New Main client. Owl Shimy came to me making jokes about Bomby Boppets. You want to fucking tell me you don't remember me making Graal 2001? You got the first leaked pay-to-play client from me. And you released my hard drive with all of my fucking files in it. Look at this. They zipped it up for you. And then they're on here saying, I don't remember you having anything to do with Graal 2001. Really? That's hilarious. Luckily for me, your little lie about nobody remembering the past is not going to work out for you, because I remember Nixt.org. I remember it like it was yesterday, faggot. So they're in here lying their asses off because they know what they did, and Owl Shimy's a part of it. And it didn't just start and stop there. You can see me in here saying that I don't want anything to do with you. You're gross. You're sexually harassing me. I'm sick of it. You're a fucking pig. And he kept this up for years. And then in here, after he threatened to violently beat me to death, one day I'm going to beat you so fucking silly you wish you never fucked with me. And I never fucked with him. See how he never releases what was before it? Like he did with my emails? I remember I was 13 when he started. He was 16. He was the age of consent, by the way. I was not. I was a child, a little boy. See how he's releasing all my emails but none of his own? He removes the context. And this whole thing turns into him adding weird commentary, leaking DMs, harassing me, telling other people to harass me, telling me to go have painful anal fucking sex with animals, saying that I'm into bestiality, calling me a stupid little fucking child, and broadcasting this to adults where they all conspired for 25 years to keep this shit up and going. Not a word in here about Pachuco actually being convicted of raping kids. Not a word in here about me being robbed and preyed upon. Not a word defending children. Not a word about the kids of Zone being robbed. Not a word about Stefan and Unixmad stealing. Nothing. But then they're in the private messages saying it was Stefan and Unixmad. Really? That's hilarious, because it seems to me that you're still getting off on child predation. And we know you've been hanging out in an IRC channel on the back end. We've seen it, faggots. So no, I don't believe Owl Shimy when he comes to me, making up lies. I had no idea Graal was still around. We have logs of you in the Graal IRC channel with Spider's fucking whole crew and Gallon. Everybody's there. He lived with Corson in Portland, by the way, for years. In the late 2000s. And he's been hanging out in the Graal IRC up into today, just in the last couple years. Owl Shimy saying, I had no idea Graal was still around. Some crappy Java applet game. He wasn't even playing the Java applet version of Zelda Online. Owl Shimy was playing Graal when it was C++. Do you see the level of dishonesty and manipulation these faggots are going to make you convinced that they aren't perverts and that they aren't the ones who are behind all this shit? How do you think Stefan and Unixmad got away with it? This is a whole spider web nexus of predators. They're in their 40s and 50s now. And lying and being subversive. Stop exposing me. And then, by the way, Time from Graal Classic was illegally ushered into taking over Destiny after they stole it from me at the end of 2000. He vandalized it. He told everybody that I was fucking animals and I love to get off on birds. And he made this whole fetish joke about a little fucking 14-year-old. And by the way, I made Destiny when I was 12 and 13. So they're referring to a 12 and 13-year-old because I made the stuff when I was 12 and 13. So what they're really fucking saying, and they were doing it when I was 14, but what they were really fucking saying was that a 12 and 13-year-old loves to fuck animals. They made it up. And then they spread it around. And then they kept this shit up forever. And they told all their friends to say it to me. And Pachuca wrote it in his goodbye letter. Pachuca, the pedophile. Check this out. My last goodbye to Graal. This was April 6th of 2002. And he is in here saying that somebody had net busted my computer and found a bunch of animal porn and that I was a sick little kid. Pachuca is your daddy. And by the way, he's best friends with Shimy. Pachuca was convicted not just once, but twice. Of sex with a minor, by the way. He says it was just once, but it was twice. Do you know how I know that? Because I got the screenshot. Look up this old post on the message board when people were talking about him, and you'll see here that Eric Robert Gray, of 25 years old, is charged with 2 counts of oral copulation as well as sexual battery and penetration with a foreign object for allegedly forcibly sexually assaulting a 15-year-old girl he met online. He raped her. She was 15, he was 25. But check this out. The prosecution alleges that Gray, who has a 2001 conviction for unlawful intercourse with a minor, the same fucking years, dude. 2001. Pachuca was in Graal from 1998 to 2000. And he was still hanging around in the background in 2001. In 2001, he was convicted for unlawful intercourse with a fucking minor. He met the girl in a chat room and communicated with her online for 3 months. Not just 1, but 2 counts. So once in 2001. And in 2001, Pachuca would have been 22. So when he was 22 and when he was 25. So this dude is a fucking serial child fucking molester. And he's saying the same shit Shimy is saying. They were all fucking in on it, guys. And for 25 years, not a single one of them have ever used Spider's Page of Stuff to apologize, to make amends, to expose Stefan and Unixmad, and to restore my life. Instead, they hid behind it with pleasure and chatted in the IRC channel. And now they're coming to my DMs and lying to me all up and down the place. I didn't even see your video. Oh God, weird I stumbled upon this. I haven't even known Graal was still around yet. Weird. I figured I'd reach out to you. Do you want to chit chat? Let's talk a little bit. They're still lurking the Graal community. And you know that I was at the top. I created Destiny. They stole it. Shimy defamed me. As soon as Destiny released, that's when so much fucking hatred and hacking came my way. They weren't doing it to anybody else, none of the adults, because they were all in on it. Remember, Fweetad was in on it. Gallon was in on it. Stefan and Unixmad were benefiting from it. All these faggots who continued, and they became adults real quick, and they were already of the age of consent for most of them, and many of them were adults. We're in on it. As soon as Destiny, I finished that, they just started stealing it. As soon as Graal 2001 was finished, they just started stealing that shit too, and destroying my name and destroying me. And then putting on their resume that they were the top fucking admins. So, do you see what they do to authority? What they do to people in high positions of power when people are entitled to something? They smear their fucking name and try to take them down. So, when I have Shimy messaging me now saying, oh God, after 25 years, I had the opportunity to make amends and to expose Stefan and Unixmad and put you back in your rightful place of property and prosperity. I'd rather you feel sorry for me now. Did you know I was raped when I was 17? I'm not believing it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. For one, that was after he started stealing and robbing and smearing me and preying on me with Spider and all these people. He's the top member in their IRC channel. His web address is the top URL in their IRC channel at this time. Yes, he's complicit and he's guilty. That web address is showing the sexual abuse against me and all kinds of stuff that they did and smearing me and saying that a little child loves to fuck animals. They spread that rumor like wildfire. They weren't happy until they stole everything because they're losers who don't make shit. Look at this gay-ass 1999 website they kept up for 25 years. Who does that but a fucking child predator pervert? And now that I'm exposing them, suddenly they're coming out of the woodwork. I didn't even know Graal was still around. Glad to see you. No, they're fucking not. They knew all along. They've known my videos have been out, you guys. They've known all about it. They have an IRC channel filled with all the Graal people, including Super Nick, who built Super Nick's Spar Arena. None of these people knew. Get the fuck out of here. They've been a part of Graal for 25 years. They've been running pirated Graal servers. Lying to my face. Because they're trying to subvert what they are. They don't want to get caught. This is what Graal is, guys. It's a child predation network. Coming into my DMs, lying about everything. So when he's saying that he was raped at 17, it doesn't add up. You know, Owl Shimy was so sexualized and so, like, constantly in people's faces, lying about other people, exposing people, publicizing drama, even if he was the one starting it. You're telling me that at a school that could afford security guards, that the security guards would whisk him away every day into the bathroom and rape him when he was 17. Not when he was 12, when he was 17 years old. And his lie didn't even work because that was a year after he started abusing me. Do you see how their lies are they just make up lies until they feel like they can get away with anything? How dare you challenge me? There's no court case against John Petrozzi of the Westerville Police Department. There is no court case against him for this. I asked him if he wanted to expose John Petrozzi. And he said, no, I already tried. No, I know. And then he like changes the subject and starts talking about how there's another situation with the police department where he's at today where they're banning him from their Facebook. Do you know why they're banning him? I've already looked him up. The guy's mentally ill. He has all kinds of criminal cases for assault, violating his mental health conditions and regulations because he's apparently so mentally ill he has to be regulated by the state. He is getting all kinds of he's got a traffic violation with a car, and then he's harassing and making false calls to the emergency department. He got probed by that, and then he was screaming at them on Facebook about it forever. He was screaming about it on Facebook. There's like dozens of posts. He's on there posting all kinds of messages in the comments about, you know, that you're violating this constitutional right and this constitutional right. And remember when you did this to me? Remember when you fucking did that to me? Do you see who this fucking faggot is? He hates authority. These are perverts. And I was the authority, so they fucking destroyed a child until they could take my place. And now they're living it up in the IRC with the community they stole. In the back end, I've shown you the IRC records. No, I don't believe him when he says that the police chief was raping him. Huh? I had no idea. Even if it's just some crappy Java game,